You could easily mistake that for Marmite, but it would be horrible if you did. I'm going to absolutely baptize this in sauce. More sauce. More sauce. That's real love. That is diabetes. It's everything. Ginger and pimento sticky toffee pudding with a banana, date and rum ice cream. What more do you want from me? Welcome back to another episode of Fusion. We're baking today, and I'm very happy about that because I have the sweetest tooth going and there's a lot of sugar in front of me. Today, we are taking a British classic, you'll be glad to hear, and adding in a bit of Jamaican spice and a little bit of Jamaican rum. It's actually not Jamaican rum, it's just all the only rum I could find, but we're adding in rum. We're gonna make a pimento and ginger sticky toffee pudding. These are pimento berries or pimento seeds. I kind of compare the flavour to an intense nutmeg. Nutmeg, but for fun people, if you get what I mean. Why would anyone understand that? And then obviously some lovely ginger as well. We're gonna pair that with a beautiful pimento and ginger toffee sauce. It's gonna have a nice kick of rum through it as well. This is one for the adults. And on top of that, we're gonna make an easy, no churn, banana, date and rum ice cream. It's a good recipe. It's a very good episode. I think you're gonna enjoy it. Let's get cracking. First things first, we're gonna make the sponge. We want about 200 grams of pitted dates. These are lovely medjool dates. They're quite dry and they need to be softened. So what we'll do is, we're gonna add a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. And we'll top that with 200 mils of boiling water. We're gonna pop that on the stove and bring it to a simmer. Once it comes up to a simmer, we'll turn it off, set it aside, let it soak. Let all those dates soak up all the juices again, break down a little bit, and then we're gonna blend them up before it goes into the sponge. Speaking of the sponge, it's probably about time we make it. I've got a stand mixer here because I'm inherently lazy and I can't be asked to whisk things on my own. It's very important that your butter is room temperature and soft, otherwise it will split. So we'll pop our butter in along with some brown sugar. I like to use light brown sugar because then you get that nice caramelized molassesy flavor throughout. And with a dish like this, it really helps. We'll beat those two together until they're sort of soft and fluffy. I go for about a 4 on my KitchenAid because I want it to aerate the butter a little bit as well as it mixes. You don't want it too fast, you don't want it too slow. It's one of those. Once you're happy with that, we're actually gonna add our spices in now. So I've actually got ground pimento and ground ginger. If you can only find whole pimento, you can just grind this down in a pestle and mortar or a spice grinder. I would say at this stage, don't go light with the flavor. You've got to remember, Jamaican flavors are in your face. They're great, they're really delicious. If you think about a Jamaican ginger loaf, you can really taste the ginger in that. And that's what we're looking for here, but we're also looking for that with the pimento. So I'm going for 2 teaspoons of each inside this batter. Wrong one. Next step is the eggs. There's only 2 eggs going into this. We just have to make sure the first one is completely incorporated before going with the second, and the second's completely incorporated before we go into the next step. Nope. Let that do its thing. I think one of the most common reasons batter splits at this stage is because people don't wait for that first egg to completely mix in. The other common reason is having butter that's not room temperature. You're kind of setting yourself up for failure there. Matt Adlard taught me this really, really neat trick. If you've got a block of butter and it's not at room temperature but you need it straight away, grate it. You increase the surface area to volume ratio and it all just comes down to room temperature, just like that. Make sure you scrape down the beater and the sides of the bowl as you go. Don't want any bits not joining the party. It's a very fun ginger and pimento party in there. No one wants to miss out. Neither do you. Make the recipe, it's bloody nice. This is what makes a sticky toffee pudding, along with the dates. Treacle. Look at that, it's like tar. You want 2 tablespoons of this. Get in there, mate. There you go. You could easily mistake that for Marmite, but it would be horrible if you did. While that comes together, I'm just gonna mix all my dry ingredients into a bowl. So I've got plain flour, a couple of teaspoons of baking powder, and a nice pinch of salt. We often forget about salt in sweet recipes. It's important to get all the flavors out. You'll enhance every single flavor within it if you do that. With that little mix. And then we can add the dry ingredients to the wet. Fold them in until you can't see any more flour. That's basically the aim of the game. You'll have quite a dry batter here. Just bear with me though. And once you've got to that stage, still some flecks of flour going through, that's okay. We don't want to overwork it. We're going to blend up our dates and they'll go in to create a nice smooth cake batter. And then that will just go into the batter. All the liquid as well. We want that moisture. It's quite dry at the moment. And mix it in to give yourself a really rich, sticky toffee pudding batter. That is the one. Oh, cannot wait to get that baked. Okay, I'll keep that. You can piss off. Grab yourself a baking tray and really nicely grease it all over so you can get it out nicely after. Pour your batter in. It will rise a bit, so you want a bit of room in this, okay? Make sure your tray isn't too small. If you're going around to your mates for dinner and they ask you to bring dessert, this is such a nice option. It's wholesome, it's filling, it's comforting, but it's different. It's different to your, oh, I'm bringing around a sticky toffee pudding. That's great, but something like this just adds another layer of intrigue, flavour. It's a talking point. I imagine you guys could probably do that because you're all a bit boring. Because you're spending your evenings watching me. Who would want to do that? Please keep doing that. There you go. And that is ready to be baked. If you've got little dariole molds, you could also put this into 6, maybe 8 of them, and then you can have lots of individual ones. I've done this because I want to poke lots of holes in it and pour all that beautiful toffee sauce all over it. Let's see how we do in about 40 minutes, I imagine. Next up is the ice cream. Now there's 2 things I need you to do for me the night before you make this recipe. The first, I want you to peel and freeze 6 small, 4 or 5 large bananas. The best way to do this is every time you have a banana that's overripe, peel it, pop it in a box in your freezer, and then you've got it for this recipe every time. The second thing is to get maybe 100 grams of dates and soak them in rum. That's been sitting overnight. They are ready to play. This is probably the easiest ice cream recipe you'll ever see. We don't need to put anything on the hob. We don't need to make a custard. All we're doing is blending. So what we'll do is put the frozen ice cream, break it up if you can, because it will help your blender a little bit. Touch of cream. We can add more if we need to later, but also remember that the rum is going to add some liquid as well, and alcohol stops things from freezing. So I'd rather this was over frozen, over solid before we add that in. And honey for sweetness. Don't need too much because there's obviously a massive toffee sauce that's going to go over it. You almost want this to give you a bit of relief. Lid on. And blend. At the start, once it's pretty much blended, that is basically, that's ice cream right there. Banana ice cream, very tasty. Still got a little bit to go, but before it finishes, I just want to add in these dates. I'm going to try not to add in too much rum to begin with because the dates have soaked up quite a lot of it already, and rum will prevent the ice cream from freezing in the freezer, so you don't want to add too much alcohol. Tell you what, if you're a fan of dark and stormy, use that rum to create a datey dark and stormy. It's delicious. Grab something to pop it in. Just pop that in the freezer. So the sponge is in the oven, ice cream's in the freezer. The only thing left for us to do is to make a delicious toffee sauce. Not only is it delicious, it's really, really simple. Butter. It's not exactly a healthy recipe, okay? I never said it was. Butter. A smidgen of brown sugar. A couple of teaspoons of treacle. I don't know how anyone can accurately measure out treacle. And about a teaspoon of ginger powder and a teaspoon of ground pimento, because we want that flavour running through the whole dish. And that just goes on the hob for a few minutes. Everything will melt down, mix together, create this beautiful caramelly toffee sauce, and we'll finish it off once it's off the heat with some double cream and a bit of rum. Right, so that's been in the oven for 35 minutes. It's looking incredible. What we want to do is just poke lots of holes in it and then lather on some of that sauce. You want to just push it back and forth so it works its way into all the little holes. It will try and work its way to the edges, but just bring it back. There's plenty of sauce in this recipe, so there's going to be lots to serve it with as well, but I've given you enough to be able to put it all on top as well and try and work it into those holes we've just created. It'll make it really nice and moist, and it will mean that flavour goes through. I can smell that rum coming off it now. So good. This ain't for kids. I haven't been this gagging to eat a dessert in a long time. This is going to be a video where Anna watches it and she'll be like, you only saved me one slice, where's the rest of it gone? That's where it's going. You need a double bathe, okay? I'm going to absolutely baptise this in sauce. And then we've got our easy ice cream. Get a lovely spoonful of that. And then we go again with the sauce. It's not excessive, it's necessary. Look at that. That's a proper dessert. That's real love. That is diabetes. It's everything. Ginger and pimento sticky toffee pudding with a banana, date and rum ice cream. What more do you want from me? Wow. Holy sh... It needed all of that spice in it. Just in the back of your throat, you get a tingle of ginger. It's completely rounded with pimento. And that ice cream is so delicious, considering how bloody easy it was. It's moist as it is, but then it's been doused in that beautiful sauce that I just cannot get enough of. Wow. I've made some good sticky toffee puddings in my time, but oh, you know what? That is something I really hope makes the Jamaicans proud, because I can see it in their cuisine so easily. More sauce. More sauce. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Fusion as much as I have. I hope it hasn't crept diabetes into you through the screen. It may have crept it into me through eating it. It's an absolutely lovely dessert, ginger and pimento sticky toffee pudding with a banana, date and rum ice cream. It's hearty and it's beautiful, but it's completely lifted with those spices. If you've enjoyed today, like, subscribe, share this all with your mates. And I'll see you next week for something equally as delicious, if not more.